Hi there. It's too hot to do this video, and this is already the third time I'm trying it. Yeah, this is an indie pop C-86 video. Dereck had shown this in one of his videos, and I basically replied that I have some stuff by this, and I wanted to show it, and I thought, why just show Biz when you can show a lot more indie pop stuff or bands that influenced indie pop, and add another genre to the indie pop thing called C-86, which not a lot of people know about and needs to be talked about. That brings me to the other person that kind of made me decide to do this video, and that's Logan, Aisle3Comedy. He recently bought a record, a reissue of an album that I'm going to show later on, so yes, keep watching. Before that, MrRompert, I'm shouting you out. Thank you so much for calling me. It was such a blast to hear you speak, and yeah, I do sound different, he mentioned, in real life than I do on the phone. But it's because I got a shitty, crappy camera that sort of makes my voice sound different. It doesn't really matter. It works for me, but yeah, it was me to talk to. So let's get started. C-86. This is a compilation album that is something you need to have when you want to start getting familiar with the C-86 scene. It's a compilation album that originally was just a cassette tape attached to New Musical Express, Enemy. It was basically 22 tracks, like this album is, and it featured the underground scene of British music at the time. The mid 80s, 1985, I think, when the cassette was released. The scene, it was named after the cassette tape. So it's not like, you know, this group themselves called it C-86. It's just named after cassette tape. A couple of the bands that were part of the C-86 scene were later to become pretty big. The biggest one, Primal Scream. Primal Scream started out as a punky band that fitted right in this whole scene. Other bands that are not on this compilation, The Shaman and The Beloved. The Beloved, they became more dance pop. The Shaman started to incorporate rave music in their sound. They changed completely. The Mighty Lemon Drops, same thing, they're on here. Soup Dragons are on here. They changed their sound completely. The Wedding Present is on here. McCarthy. But a lot of these bands, they remained true to what they sounded like and didn't really have a huge career. But you know, they're cult bands, none, you know, whatsoever. The Pastels, for example. Essential album if you want to get into the whole C-86 scene. There's a couple of albums by bands that, you know, are from that scene. This is We've Got a Fussbox and We're Gonna Use It, which I think is one of the coolest band names ever. The album is called Boston Steve Austin, and the band name describes what they sound like. They have a fuzzbox, and they're using it. Fussed out punk, but very poppy. Four ladies that sort of out Riot Girl the Riot Girls. This is back in 1986. I'm sure these ladies were a big influence on bands like L7, Not the message, but the sound, just the fuzzy, dirty sound. Except this is a little poppier. I love it. I fucking love it. Logan showed this as a reissue. The Shop Assistants. Full Man with Beards released it. I'm not gonna say it's essential, but it's killer. It's, like he said, you know, uplifting, punky kind of indie pop. It's on the Blue Guitar label. This is an original, by the way. Produced by Mayo Thompson of the Red Crayola. He was at the time working and living in the UK, and he worked with a lot of British indie bands, and this is one of them. 2 guys, 2 girls. I'm wrong. 1 guy, 3 girls, and it's just amazing. This is really, really good. Not as punky or uplifting, but very funny. It's Half Man, Half Biscuit. This is, I believe, their 2nd album, called Back Again in the DHSS, which is the follow-up to Back in the DHSS. The best song on here, I think, is The Bastard Son of Dean Friedman, which is sort of a country-ish kind of, you know, crazy, funny song. But this is really, really good stuff. I don't know how many albums they did. I have 3, but something that really needs to be checked out. I think these guys were part of the C-86 sound, or C, sorry. But this is an album released in 1990, the BMX Bandits, and the album is called C-86. This is a release on Vinyl Japan, and this is really good. You know, it fits in with that sound, or sort of the sound that was popular in the whole C-86 scene. I'm not making any sense, am I? Oh well, I'll try to continue. Great stuff, and yeah, they're called the BMX Banditos here, but it's the BMX Bandits. Very much like the Shop Assistants, and maybe a little bit better, yet I don't know if they did any albums. It's the Flatmates. This is killer stuff. Punky, indie pop, I mean, the first track is called Happy All the Time, and it sounds like they're happy, but they're pissed off at the same time. It's kind of weird. Oh, weird? I mean, the combination, them singing about being happy all the time, and it sounding like you got some, you know, punk rock band just ripping chords. It's just really, really cool. That's the band. The label is the Subway Organization, which I only have this by, and if this is an indication of what that label did, I want more. This is so good. Logan, try to get this. You know, if I see another copy, I'm going to send it to you. I think I have your address, but it's going to be hard because I've only seen this one here. Cool stuff. Highly recommended. Soup Dragons. Before they sort of incorporated Happy Mondays like sounds, they were C-86. Very, you know, up-tempo, punky again. It's very punk influenced style. This is the Hang 10 EP. I think there's also a Hang 10 album which has the same cover. So I might have skipped on that in the past while looking for records. But this is a killer EP. 4 tracks. Energetic music, just highly energetic. I think these guys, they were thrown in the whole C-86 thing as well, except they sound so different. they sound more like precursors to Belle and Sebastian. This is the June Brides. There are 8 million stories. This is on another label that I have never seen before, the Pink label. I love that label. It's just cool stuff. It's more jangly pop with more orchestration, and it's just beautiful music. This is a forgotten classic. If you see it, pick it up. That is if you like Belle and Sebastian and that kind of indie pop stuff. If you can't stand that, stay away from this, because it's too twee, too jangly. But I love it. Now, some of the other influences on indie pop music. One of the biggest television personalities. This is their 1989 album, Privilege, which had one song on it that kind of became a cult hit, Salvador Dali's Garden Party. I love this album. I love the television personalities, period. Dan Treasy, the lead singer and the main guy behind the television personalities, he's had some, major problems in his career, being jailed. I think, I'm not too sure, but on drug charges. Anyway, after he got released, he went back to do music, and first album he did after being released from jail, that was on Domino Records. That became highly publicized, and after that it kind of fizzled out. And that's what this band is. It's they're a groundbreaking band. They're the cornerstone of indie pop music, yet they're not recognized as such, sadly. But a great band, great album. Also very indie pop, but actually it's post-punk. Orange Juice, You Can't Hide Your Love Forever, which is an amazing album. Very, soul-inspired, which is basically what a lot of indie pop is. There's a lot of soul inspiration in it, mixed with punk, mixed with just loud guitars and samples and electronica. It's a mix of everything. And this is a band that sort of showed that you have soul, but you can also have soul in other genres, like post-punk. A big influence on a lot of the indie pop bands that came out later. Here we have The Gist, Embrace the Herd. This is a great album. It's actually by a guy called Stuart Moxham, who used to be in Young Marble Giants, which is another band you should check out. That is a band that needs to be in everyone's record collection. Period. Trust me. If you see a Young Marble Giants album, get it. They only have one full-length album. Get it. It's worth it. That's a record that should be in everyone's record collection. If you love pop or rock or whatever, get it. It's amazing. Anyway, this is by Stuart Moxham, who used to be in Young Marble Giants, and it's a lot more experimental pop, but very influential on the indie pop sound. Maybe it's already indie pop. That in 1981. It features epic soundtracks from Swell Maps on drums, and it's got crazy keyboards and samples and just these catchy loops. Really good stuff. Twee pop, Marine Girls. This is a classic. It's called Lazy Ways. It's on the Cherry Red label. It's got these nice labels. This is the band that had Tracy Thorn in it before she went to Everything But the Girl. That's her. And her voice works so well with these, jangly pop tracks that are just amazing. Her first solo album is also worth tracking down. very similar to what this is. Just a really, really good album, a most definite inspiration on the whole indie pop scene. You have big differences between American indie pop and British indie pop. Americans tend to be more maybe punky with sunshine pop influence, kind of. Where the British have the Britpop influences and of course the whole 60s stuff. This is a band that they are from England, named after a song by Primal Scream, but they sound kind of American. Velocity Girl. This is Copacetic on Sub Pop. It's the band. Her name is Sarah. I don't know her last name. She's the main person behind this band. She's a band called Tender Trap, which continues in the same vein as this does. Great, great stuff. And this is released in 1993 on Sub Pop. It's so different from what Sub Pop did at the time. Pretty brave, and maybe because it's so different, it wasn't an album that sold a lot of records. European indie pop, Red Letter Day. This is on the German Marsh Marigold label. This is jangly, pop-y, just good stuff, but the vocals kind of throw me off. I love it, but I don't play it that often. The guy has a heavy German accent, and I don't mind German accents in music, but this is a little too much, but great album nonetheless. I can't show indie pop stuff without mentioning Elephant Six. Ollie Rules, he's a big Elephant Six fan, so this is a little shout out to you. I got a couple of things that I need to show. 3 CDs and a 12-inch. First off, the 12-inch. This is the Olivia Tremor Control Jumping Fences EP. There's nothing special with vinyl, it's got custom labels, and you know, it's very good. I love it. Very experimental. Don't need to say much about this. A lot of you guys have bought the 2 albums that were released, reissued by this band. Psychedelic experimental indie pop. But I bought a lot of the Elephant Six stuff on CD. A lot. One of my favorite labels at the time was Kindercore Records, and they sort of released most, if not all, not all online there, but they released a lot of Elephant Six related stuff, SX Green, among others. This is not Kindercore Records, but I bought these at around the same time. Sorry, this way up. This is Circulatory System. As you can see by the artwork, very similar. That is because this is a side project of Olivia Tremor Control. It's self-titled, and it's a lot more poppy. It sort of loses the whole experimental side and goes pop, and I love it. I like this a little bit more than Olivia Tremor Control because they try too hard, in my opinion, to do the experimental thing. It works, but could have been done more, I don't know how to say it, more from the heart. It feels more like we need to do this instead of they wanted to do it. But here, they lose the experimental sounds and create just an awesome pop album. I think this is also sort of a spin-off of the Olivia Tremor Control. Could be also a spin-off of Neutral Milk Hotel, I don't know. But this is the Sunshine Fix, and it's called Age of the Sun. This one is on Kindercore Records. Um, cool album. It's called The Sunshine Fix, and it sounds like sunshine pop, and it's just amazing. I need to mention Of Montreal. Not a big fan of their later work, but they released stuff like this, and that makes up for it. This is the Gay Parade concept album. It's about being gay, and it's about, you know, this really joyful parade that this album is about. Sort of like the Gay Pride, maybe, I don't know. But this is a killer album. They were really on top of their game here, mixing funny lyrics, odd lyrics with 60s inspired pop. It's just really good stuff. Got a couple more before, one more album before I show the biz stuff, Dereck, so hope you hung in there. First off, Hell in Love. This is British. Yeah, it's indie pop. Best way to describe this is the Archies mixed up with the Ramones, or should I say the Archies fronted by the Ramones. It's lyrical, it's the Archies, but musically this is the fucking Ramones. Ramones on acid, maybe, I don't know. I believe this is Hell in Love, and she does everything by herself. But, you know, I only have this and a 10-inch by her, and I love it, but it's got a lot of tracks, and the thing is with this music, with her music, it sounds a lot sounds the same. And it works, but I don't know how many albums it works for. And on to Biz. Biz were a band from Scotland that sort of mixed indie pop with Britpop with electronic sounds. This is the only album I have, the New Transistor Heroes, and it's a classic. Yeah, it's high energy. It's basically sort of kicking against, you know, society, and just sort of talking about stuff that they were seeing around them. It's on Ouija Records, and I fucking love Ouija. It's got little stars and hearts and puppets on here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is, in my opinion, their best album. I have their second one, which I forgot the title of, but that's a lot more poppy, pop sounding, and then they did another one that was way more pop. I didn't really like that one. Sort of to give you an indication of what they sound like, just listen to the theme track of the Powerpuff Girls. That's them. That's what this sounds like. It's high energy, it's fun music. The last thing I'm going to show is a 7-inch by Amanda. That's her. Maybe you can see her. That's her. She, after Biz split, she did a little split 7-inch with a band called Radio Vago. The project she was in at the time was called The Kitchen. And The Kitchen is one track that sounds like Biz, but way more electronic. It's really cool, and I don't know why they never continued with that sound, because it's a good sound. Radio Vago, sort of an electro-punk group from LA. All females, I believe. No, it's good, but not as good as The Kitchen. So that's my little video. I hope I kind of was able to talk about these two genres, indie pop and C-86, and sort of melt them together into this video, and hopefully you guys are inspired to check out some new music. So that's it. In the background, I don't know if you heard it, but it's a little compilation someone made for me way back in 2002. Please, Mr. Postman. So there you are. Take care. Peace.